He showed up at my door without so much as a knock. Just stood there, shoulders caved in, breathing too thin, a dim silhouette of the brother I used to know. The porch light split across his face, and that's when I noticed it. Bruises blooming along his jaw, sickly purple, like fingerprints crushed too deep into overripe fruit. He didn't say a word. He didn't need to. Something shifted inside me, a soft click, like an old lock releasing in the back of my mind. A lock I'd kept sealed for years because I knew exactly what lived behind it. Violence. Precision. Patience. I stepped aside and let him enter. He moved as if every inch hurt. Each footstep was a small confession of pain. He lowered himself into the chair at my table, fingers quivering against the grain of the wood, still silent. The clock ticked out the seconds, beating time to the rhythm of his suffering. Finally, a faint whisper escaped him. They know. Nothing more. But I understood instantly. Her family, his wife's brothers, the same men who hid their cruelty behind polite greetings and hollow smiles. Men who looked at him like he was unworthy, like marrying their sister turned him into something they owned. Something they could punish. So they did this to you, I said. He didn't answer. He didn't have to. His body shook. And for the first time in years, I saw a reflection of myself in him, not the calm twin, not the logical one, but the version of me capable of ending things neatly, permanently. A thought took shape with surgical clarity. We look the same. And tonight was only the beginning. He spoke in fragments, broken thoughts, shaky breaths, pauses long enough that I could hear his pulse stumbling. They cornered me, he said. Said I'm not good enough. That she deserves better. That I embarrass their family. I waited. Then they asked things, he added, voice thinning. Where she goes. Who she sees. They think I'm too dumb to notice. My stomach tightened, not from anger, but recognition. Of course. Infidelity. She always smiled too sweetly when I visited, always watched him the way someone inspects furniture, useful, replaceable. I'd seen the truth long before he did. But he loved her blindly, painfully. And you think she told them? I asked. His small nod nearly broke him. Something cracked in his expression, a truth he'd been trying desperately not to admit. She said they were helping us, he whispered. Helping their marriage. Helping by beating him. A coldness I rarely let surface rose inside me, steady and sharp. He couldn't yet see the betrayal clearly, but I could. Her secrets. Her late-night messages. Her sudden disappearances. Her brothers beating my twin into obedience while she pretended it was guidance. A marriage built on manipulation. A wife weaponizing her own family to control him. He was drowning in denial. I wasn't. He slept restlessly on my couch that night, twitching through half-dreams. I didn't sleep at all. Instead, I sifted through his phone. He didn't protest, didn't have the strength. His passcode was the same as mine. It always had been. I found what I expected. Deleted chats, corrupted audio, screenshots she should never have taken, hidden in secret folders. Her conversations weren't about fixing their marriage, they were about replacing him. A new man. Someone her brothers approved of. Someone with money. Someone they'd always wanted her with. And her brothers? They were breaking him down, pushing him out, keeping her hands spotless. I read everything, every timestamp, every cutting word she'd used to slice him down. The next morning, while he sipped coffee slowly, wincing when the mug brushed his lip, I started forming a plan. Not revenge. Not yet. Just truth. I visited her, calm, controlled, dressed like him, moving like him, carrying his scent. She didn't notice the switch. Not immediately. I watched her eyes, the guilt, the impatience, the quick scan for bruises. She wasn't checking on his well-being. She was measuring progress. Every detail added a new piece to the picture. Phone logs. Bank records. Search history synced across devices. The conclusion was unmistakable. He wasn't meant to survive that marriage. He was meant to surrender to it. I catalogued everything with the precision of someone preparing for an autopsy. By the time I left her house, the truth wasn't a theory anymore. It was a blueprint. 2 days later, everything aligned. The messages she thought she erased. A voice note of her brother boasting about how he cried like a child. A hotel receipt with her lover's initials neatly beside hers. I printed it all, stacked it cleanly, and slid it across her kitchen table. No shouting. No accusations. Just paper whispering its own indictment across wood. Her face drained of color faster than blood leaving a wound. Her hands trembled. A small, broken sound escaped her, half guilt, half fear. She tried saying my brother's name, but I stopped her with one sentence. You told them to hurt him. It wasn't a question. It was truth. She sank into the chair, crying out of fear for herself, not remorse. I stood with my arms crossed, expression steady. Her world was falling apart. Mine was sharpening into focus. Her brothers came 30 minutes later, expecting him, their usual target. Instead, they met me. Same face. Same voice. A different man entirely. I let them talk. Let them lie. Let them pretend they weren't predators. Then I pressed play. Their own voices filled the room, laughing, bragging, confessing everything. And woven through every sentence was their sister's involvement. They froze. And in that silence, I leaned in. You didn't break him, I said. You exposed yourselves. I told them the evidence was already with my lawyer. That copies were safe with people who wouldn't hesitate to press charges. That the police were reviewing everything. Their expressions collapsed under the weight of consequences. I didn't have to lift a finger. They'd undone themselves. My brother never asked what I'd done. He didn't need to. He stood taller now, breathing deeper, finally recognizing the truth he'd been too gentle to see. She tried calling him that night. He let the phone ring endlessly. I watched him from the doorway, the man they tried to erase, the man they underestimated. You're free, I told him. Because of you, he whispered. I shook my head. No, I said softly. Because of them. He didn't understand then. But he would. Some battles don't require fists. Only clarity. And the strength to walk away from ruins.